Created in 2016 by Sun Young and Pan Young, this robot's original design was to entertain those with its dance moves. Until it started leaking its hydraulic fluid, its sole purpose became trying to keep itself alive by keeping its fluid in. Even though it's only a robot, it wasn't long before it ceased working altogether and gave up. As a result, millions of people have used this video as a metaphor comparing it to life living today. Found out about this video actually from my pastor at my church. In this video, we will go over the 4 components that make up happiness, my 3 key components to happiness through my personal experience, and we'll go into the correlation with money, happiness, and control. Are you happy with your life? Do you feel like you're living the life you're supposed to be living? Do you feel a sense of meaning and purpose every time you wake up in the morning? Can you honestly say you have things you can consistently look forward to with every time you wake up? If you answered no to any of these questions, you are exactly where I was about a week ago. Heck, I still struggle answering yes to these questions sometimes. I think we could all agree that life is anything but easy. Life is hard. And because life is hard, we have to figure out what makes us happy in it. And that's what this video is about. So we're going to figure out why your life is so hard. I say this with no change to my finances, but a change here and a change here. According to Arthur C. Brooks, if you've never heard of him before, he is a best-selling author, a Harvard scientist, and a happiness expert. He studies happiness for a living. So why not talk about him in this video? Who more appropriate, right? So when we talk about why your life is so hard, we have to first talk about what makes your life, quote unquote, easy. And the universal answer to that is happiness. But happiness is so vague, it's so broad, it's so subjective even for some people. But the overall consensus of what happiness means, according to Arthur C. Brooks, the 4 components of happiness are faith, family, friendship, meaningful work. Now, just to be brief, I could make a whole video on this, but I'm going to be very brief with each. When he says faith, regardless of if you're religious, if you're a believer in a higher power, faith in something. We as humans, as a species, have faith in something. Okay, so even if you're an atheist, that means you have faith in yourself. Family. Okay, so this is one that really hits home with me. Because as far back as I can remember, I've always wanted a family. My main goal in life was to be a husband and a father from a very young age. And I'm beyond blessed now that I could say that I am. And I've been married for about 10 years. My daughter just turned 9. At the end of the day, like, my family is my why. And let me tell you guys right now, if you're thinking about starting a family, if you are interested in getting married, if you're interested in having kids, make sure you're prepared for it, because it's work. It's work with your family. It's work being alone. So it's just a matter of how you weigh it out. And research has showed that having a family makes you happier.
But it really comes down to this. If you're walking away from your family, or you're letting anything besides abuse put a schism in your family, you're ruining your happiness and theirs too. People, 1 in 6 Americans is not talking to a family member today because of politics. It's insanity.
So we're letting all these things completely drive a wedge
we're letting
into
the media,
one of the 4 pillars of our happiness.
For sure.
I've done a lot of self-exploration lately. Within the past year or so, I've read the self-help books. I've researched the ideal perfect morning routines and perfect health, not perfect, I shouldn't say perfect. Perfect does not exist. The ideal healthy routines, healthy lifestyles, right? And interviews and all these things on YouTube about regrets. Like, there was a video I saw about interviewing older people on their deathbeds about if they regretted anything in their lives. And the most common answer I heard was regretting working so much and regretting not spending enough time with the people who they love. So that really resonates with me in so many ways. And I've realized that I've been working like a dog for all of my adult life, since as far as back as I could remember. These past 10 years or so of being a family man and having a daughter and having a wife have been challenging, to say the least, but very, very rewarding, because I can say I have a home to call my own. I can say I have a steady job. I can say I have all these stories to tell now because of it. So I'll leave it at that. Friendship. When it comes to friendship, growing up, I've had wonderful friends, and they are a big part of who I am today. However, you may know this too, if you're around my age. I'm in my 30s, I'm 34. If you're a millennial like me, you know that as you grow up, you lose touch with your friends, and not even just millennials, but for everybody. So if you lose touch with your friends because of other things, like, of course, life takes over, and that's fine. That's how it's supposed to be. But if you're like me, life is a little nuts, and you don't have much of a social life, which I'm trying to work on. But basically, you want to focus on your meaningful relationships, and what that means is communication every day with actual human beings, not on a screen. I know I'm talking to you right now on a screen, but remember that relationships are built. We're social creatures, going back forever. Humans have always been social creatures. So I think you said research has shown that loneliness is at an all-time high because of screens, and depression is at an all-time high because of our pseudo relationships. But keep that in mind today, whether it's being involved, getting involved with something, getting involved with a club, a group of some kind, a church, some sort of community. It's so important to be involved with. And as for the last one, meaningful work. Now, I'll tell you right off the bat, as you could probably guess, meaningful work has drastically increased my morale and my happiness, if you will, as of late, because what I'm doing right here, right now, is meaningful to me. I am very passionate about helping others feel better in their lives, whether it be physically, mentally. In addition to these 4 components, faith, family, friendship, and meaningful work, there's a 5th one that he doesn't list that I'm going to add in, but I'm going to reveal it at the end, because this 5th one, not that it's not, all these 4 things don't exist without it, but without this 5th one that I'm going to reveal later in the video, you can't enjoy these 4 things. And if you want to leave a guess as what you think it is, leave a comment down below, because that's the only hint I'm going to give. The main point I want to emphasize with this particular video is that life is short, and we have to spend all of our time wisely and all of our time doing the things that we care about the most. I'm very, very grateful, and I practice gratitude every day because of it, because I found it very important to stay humble and be kind, like the Tim McGraw song, I know, but it's true. Be humble, be kind, be empathetic, and it goes so far in life, in every facet of your life. Be kind to everybody, because you never know what's going to happen, and kindness matters. It truly does. The thing that I tell myself constantly is that the reason I work is to provide for my family. And if I don't get to see my family, then it's not worth the money to me. That time is more important. So just know that if you're in a situation similar to that, and you want to spend more time with your family, you can. You are not confined to one job. You're not. There are so many different jobs you could do. You just got to be open-minded. Open up your mind. You can do more. You can do anything you set your mind to. I know change is hard. I know routine change is hard, but you can get what you want to get in life. You could do whatever you want to do. So Albert C. Brooks is a Harvard scientist at Harvard University. He's a best-selling author, and he is a happiness expert. And he was talking about money could only be used for 5 things. 1 is to buy stuff. 2 is to buy experiences with people we love. 3 is to buy time with people we love. 4 is to give it away. And 5 is to save it. And he went on to say that 4 out of the 5 of those can make you happy. Of course, the one that doesn't make you happy would be buying material things. I am not a wealthy person. Life has been challenging in that regard. But at the end of the day, I'm very grateful to have a full-time job, to have a home to go to at the end of the day, to have my family and my health. To me, that's the best kind of wealth there is. But it just shows that certain ways to use money can make for a more fulfilling and happier life. And I bring this up because it's not about what you buy for yourself. The things don't matter if you have nobody to share it with. It's who your company is. It's not what it is. Just think about your why, because is that car you want to buy really worth it without anybody to share it with? Is that truck or vacation worth it if you can't share it with anybody? We are social creatures by nature, so this has really helped me with that. And if anything else, I encourage you to check it out. I will link that video down below. And it was eye-opening. It changed my life. Not that I didn't think this way before, but it puts it in perspective in a way, and frames it in such a way that it makes you think. You know, it makes you think about your own life and what you really label as important. Life is going to be challenging, but it doesn't have to be. You have a certain amount of control. I know we all strive to have control, and we can only have a finite amount in our lives. So whatever control we can have, you just got to find what that is, and you have to go with it. You have to go with it the best way we can. That's how I've been able to stay sane and find an outlet. So what's your outlet today? What keeps you going? What gives you meaning and purpose? So when it comes to the pillars of happiness, the components of happiness, faith, family, friendship, and meaningful work, I completely agree 100% with everything that Dr. Arthur C. Brooks has to say. And I'm going to add my own thing on here, and I can back it up with science as well. The one thing that needs to be present and needs to exist in order for any of these 4 things to take place in your life is your health. And this isn't me being biased. This is me being 100% upfront and real with you all. Your health is the baseline for everything in your life. So if you say, for example, you have all the money in the world, right? What good is all the money in the world if you don't have your health? You don't know how long you're going to have left, or you can't move the way you want to move. Or say you're a new parent and you're not in ideal health, and it hurts to move certain ways, or you're just so overwhelmed by the thought of moving certain ways that how can you put all your focus into your child or your job or anything else for that matter? So, and okay, maybe you're saying, well, you don't actually need to be in ideal health to have those things like faith, right? You could believe in something without being in ideal health. That's fine. You could have your family without being in good health. Okay. You could have friends and you could have meaningful work without being in ideal health. Sure, you can. What I mean exactly is you need to experience ideal health to be able to be your best self in the focusing of those 4 components. The only drawbacks there are to exercising is the time you do it. And that's who I want to help on this channel. So if you haven't checked out my other videos yet, if you're a busy individual, if you have kids, if you're a full-time parent at home, if you're a full-time busy working, hardworking professional in the workplace, and you work, say, 60-hour work weeks, whatever, if you can't seem to find the time to do any sort of exercise and you're interested in starting, this is the channel that you're gonna wanna watch. So if you haven't subscribed yet, you can do so here or down below, but don't take my word for it. Watch videos before you decide to subscribe, and make your decision from there. Life is hard. It's never meant to be easy, but these are the ways around it, and they're scientifically based. By the way, exercise, for the science part, exercise is scientifically based because it releases endorphins, and I made shorts about this. I've made videos in the past about this topic. Exercise gives you endorphins, so whether that be cardio, weightlifting, hypertrophy, resistance training of any kind, okay, it gives you endorphins that are released from your brain, which are hormones. Hormones regulate your entire body, and just 3 of them off the bat, right off the bat: serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin. Oxytocin is the main component, the main hormone found in my antidepressant medication. And dopamine, obviously, most people know what dopamine is. It's the pleasure hormone. And serotonin is known as the painkiller hormone. So all 3 of these chemicals are very, as naturally as they can get, are produced by your brain when you engage in physical activity and exercise. Make sure you take this with you today and put it into your everyday life. If you are maybe having a hard time today with the challenges life throws your way, and you might get inside your own head and get in your own way, maybe you're an overthinker. If that sounds like you, you're exactly like me. I'm still an overthinker to an extent, but not nearly as much as I used to be. So this is the book that jump-started me onto this journey I've been on. It's called Soundtracks by Jon Acuff. And when I read that and started doing these affirmations in that book, my life changed. So if you want to check that video out right here, I talk about how I've combated my overthinking over the past year or so and ways that I've got over it. So hopefully it could help you as well. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.